It's a beautiful day not only to go racing, but it's beautiful because we are here in the heart of Texas. It's the Lone Star State this week, and we have a lot of excitement in the air for this one. It's the 11th round for the fastest American tier here in the contest of speed, and only 5 races left in the season until we crown our newest champion. But let's not go ahead and get ahead of ourselves. Let's take a look around this track. 3.42 miles around this scorching test of not only speed, but downforce as well. 20 turns, 11 to the left and 9 to the right, and 2 DRS zones with the possibility of overtakes all around this track. It's a familiar sight for tires this week. It's the soft on the C4, the medium on the C3, and the hard on the C2, and I doubt we will see anyone starting on the C4 this weekend, except of course in qualifying. But Cost Mindset has been on a tear on the later half of the season. If he wins again, he'll make it 4 in a row and possibly put himself at the top of our Drivers' Championship standings. I guess we'll just have to wait and see who puts themselves at the top this week. Welcome along, everybody. It is great to have you here, and as always, I'm joined by my co-commentator, Electric Entree. How you doing tonight?
Man, doing great. Glad to have you back. Glad to be back for another week of AM1 action. Thanks for having me.
Of course, and it's great to be back. We are here in the Lone Star State of Texas, getting ready for the start of the United States Grand Prix, and I mean, it's been a great season so far. We're coming down towards the end of it. It's I mean, these races are really starting to count more and more as the season is continuing on, and I mean, whoever can come out on top, it really is going to have a big effect on who comes out on top in the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, you know, and the Drivers' Championship, man, it's really tightened up here in the last few weeks. Mindset, man, he's been on a tear. He got his three-peat last week. He's brought it up to third place in the driver standings now. He's 10 points behind G Boone, and 1 point ahead of him is Red Devil with 106. So G Boone at 115, Devil at 106, Mindset at 105. Man, it's going to be a brawl here to the end of the season. So it's definitely getting interesting now.
Yeah, and speaking of Mindset, he did just start his fastest lap. And, I mean, this is going to be his banker lap, but you never know. We'll see if he can do a better qualifying than he did last week. Was he on pole last week?
Oh, you know, that's a good question. I
honestly can't remember. But I do remember in Miami, the last time we were in the U.S., he didn't even qualify. But you know what? That's fine. He went ahead and won the thing anyways. So, I mean, anything can happen here. And, of course, we have Jan as well. Jan has been on a tear as well. He's been doing really good out there, and it's really hard to be consistent, especially in a league like this, especially with the competition and these close field spreads that we've been having. It's really hard to be consistent, and that's what Jan's been doing. So let's hope we can keep it clean for today's race. He's already set a purple sector 2, so he's going to be coming around the bend here. What do you think a good time is going to be for qualifying today, Electric?
Oh man, that's a good question. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been out all week. I haven't been able to watch any of the races. I feel a little bit out of the loop on this. But you know, the more I think about it, you know, the more I just don't know, to be honest. Jan set a fastest lap with a 132. Mindset with a 133. You know, they bring it down, maybe looking at in the 127, 8 range, maybe. But you know, don't quote me on that.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like we could get down there. Maybe that far, maybe low 130s, 131s. I definitely think we can get into the 131s, and it's just a matter of time before people start putting up laps like that. But one other development we've had, if you haven't watched the past couple of races, is that Major Castleman is now on the Ferrari F1 team. And do we have any other subs today?
Today for our subs, yeah, let's see here. We have B Scholes is our only sub today. He's subbing in for Riva in the Haas. You know, you spoke of Major Castleman. He actually, B Scholes is retired from full-time racing, so Major Castleman stepped into his seat at Ferrari. Well, Bischols is back today for COTA, stepping in for Riva in that Haas.
Yeah, and Red Devil with the fastest lap of 132.418. That's a pretty decent lap time. And the Williams already looking strong here. And the Johnny Damon, he's going to go ahead and put himself 7th right in front of his teammate Fluffy. Just about a 5/10 gap from the top. But Vamu Nubel, he's going to go ahead and put on a 132.3. We're getting down into the 132s. But, I mean, between first and third place, or sorry, fourth place, it's pretty tight. And I mean, I'd expect that the field's going to get even tighter as we continue, but we only have 12 minutes of qualifying left out of an 18-minute session. So lap times are just going to keep increasing, or sorry, decreasing.
Yeah, I would hope they start decreasing. If the lap times are increasing and there's no rain in the forecast, there's something wrong. But yeah, you know, it's the track. The guys that get a feel for it. The track rubbers in. You know, those times are going to come down for sure. And these guys, they're just setting their first laps now. So we should definitely be seeing some improvement here as this session goes on the next 11 minutes or so.
Yeah, and that's another thing to think about is how this track is going to develop throughout the race. So obviously, the qualifying session is going to be different from the race, but as the race continues, I'd expect the track to get pretty hot, and I'd also expect that tire degradation is going to be something that drivers are going to be wanting to look out for in this race.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm so sorry. I've got like so many things going on here. I'm trying to like get set up. I'm a little out of it. But yeah, tire deg is definitely something to be worried about. There's so many like flowing sections of this track, and then some hard corners as well. Like it definitely, if you don't look after the tires, it's gonna open you up to make some mistakes along this track. And I think we've seen that in the earlier races this week. A lot of penalty points just going off track, and some wrecks from just the the tire differentials and whatnot.
Yeah, that's one thing about this track is that it's not only about having a good top speed, but it's also about having downforce, especially through those S's section. That section is pretty downforce heavy, and if you don't get it right, you can easily get a track limits violation, and we could see some time penalties, and that could make the difference today. But we're waiting for the drivers to get out of the pits and go ahead and start their next laps. It looks like a Mercedes is on the way right now. He's on his out lap, and Cost Mindset looking to put himself on pole and looking to make it 4 in a row. And if he does win tonight, he could overtake G-Boon if G-Boon doesn't make it into the point. So it's possible for him to be on top of the Drivers' Championship standings tonight. But will it happen? I don't know. I guess only time will tell. So we'll see if he's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, he's like I said earlier, he's 10 points back from first place. So if all he needs to do is outscore. He needs to put 11 points on G-Boon tonight to move him up into that first place spot. But I mean, you got to watch out for Red Devil too. He's 1 point ahead of Mindset. So he's not he doesn't have just a straight shot to that first place spot in the standings either. He's going to have to deal with a few people besides just Boone. And Ramon as well. I mean, he's right there in the mix. He's 11 points behind Mindset, but he's showing some pretty strong pace here in AM1 as well. It's definitely a tight race, not a clear cut case of somebody just running away with it just yet.
Yeah, you definitely can't count out Kuro, Ramon, or Red Devil. They're just quietly always there at the front. They're not making much of a scene. They're having good, clean races, and they're putting themselves in the points. So, I mean, that's what you're looking for if you want to start adding up Drivers' Championship points. But it's also helping their Constructors' Championships. So, I mean, I guess only time will tell. But especially this track, it's good to have a good qualifying position because DRS trains are very, very possible here. And if you get yourself kind of drowning in the back of the pack, it's hard to make your way back up. So qualifying position is very important here, and we'll see if they can keep a good position for themselves in the race. Fluffy starting his lap And he's having a pretty decent first sector here, especially through this section of the S's. You got to keep it close to those curbs and make sure not to cut that curb too much, because if you go over the orange bit right there, then you can lose some traction and spin out pretty easily. But he kept it pretty clean through there. Maybe he could have cut a corner just a little bit more, but especially through here, you got to keep it wide. It's hard to pin the braking point on that braking zone, but he managed to do it. Got a little bit slippery coming out of the exit of that corner there, but it's going to be enough to keep him with a decent lap time. So we'll see how his sector 2 time is going to be, and he's just going to keep going on with his lap. We're going to go ahead and move on to Red Devil. We're going to go on board with him, and he is just on his out lap, so we'll see if he can put himself. He's only separated by 0.074 of a second, so he could put himself on pole. You never know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I just need to go back to something that was said earlier in the stream. We were talking about the substitutions for today, and I completely missed this. Yesterday it was announced, or 2 days ago, the 16th, it was announced. If you notice there in pole position, Vamu on the pole, he is back full-time racing in that seat for AlphaTauri now. So he's not a sub. He is back handling his business as a full-time driver now in that AlphaTauri.
And that's great. We hated to see him go. He's such a good driver. As you can see, he's on pole. He's such a part of this league, and to see him leave it, to see him leave in the first place, it hurt a lot, but to see him back, just it warms the heart. So we're glad to have him back, and maybe he just wanted to drive for AlphaTauri, so he got himself a little team switch there, and it's working out for him.
Yeah, and he's looking to make a statement here with his return. He just lost the pole to Red Devil there, not by much, but his time has been beat. But he's sitting there, he's still on the front row as of now, so he's definitely looking to make a statement with his return to full time.
And I definitely think he can. He definitely has the pace and the experience and just the mindset to be able to put himself on the podium today. So I definitely think he has a chance of doing that. But as we said, Red Devil is now on pole with a 132.290. Just Jose, he's going to go 4.5 tenths down on his previous lap time, and that's going to put him in 4th. He's 3.5 tenths down from pole currently, and the drivers are starting to run out of time here in the later section of this qualifying session, and they're running out of time, so hopefully they can get their times in soon. Sean Boy, Jay Supreme, Techie Corgi, they all have not yet put in lap times. Maybe they're thinking that they're just going to go out there, put on a one-stop banger, and that's all they need. But we'll see if they go ahead and hop out of the pits here soon.
Yeah, Techie Corgi, he just set his lap time, his first lap of the day, and he's 133.5. They'll put him in 15th. Looks like I'm not sure if he's making another push lap here now, but he does have one on the board, so that's good for him. So now we're just waiting on one from Jay Supreme and Sean Boy, who hasn't left the garage just yet.
Yeah, and QRL Ramon, he's a little bit down on his time. Is that gonna? Oh, QRL Ramon is gonna go pole. He was 5 tenths.
He's not down on his time anymore.
Yeah, he is. He was 5 tenths down on Red Devil, or sorry, he was 5 tenths down on his previous lap time. 1.5 tenths down on Red Devil's time. He gained a lot of time in that third section there. He gained almost 4 tenths, maybe even 5 tenths on that third sector there. And it paid off. Kira Ramon is on pole for the time being. There's 4 minutes left in the qualifying session. And we'll see if Kira Ramon is going to be able to keep that pole.
Yeah, he's set up pretty well now. Devil and Vamu, they're hitting the pits. I think they're going to try and hit one last big push here at the end of the session. But Ramon, he's looking pretty good with that 132.1 so far.
Yep, he's at a very, very solid lap time. And I've went ahead and put all of the times on the screen there for you. So you can see what all the drivers are putting in. They're all pretty close. We're all in the 132s until we get to around 14th place. Then we start approaching the 133s. But, I mean, will we see a driver get below the 132 mark into the 131s? If we do, that's going to be a banger of a lap time. That's going to be a quick one. So we'll see if the drivers can put on a show for us and get us into the 131s.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to knock on the door of it now. Jan, he just come in with a 132 too to put him into second place there over Red Devils time. The times are definitely coming down. I think maybe a high 131 probably achievable. Whether it happens or not, we've got 2.5 minutes to find out. But they are, and everybody's going to come out for one last push at the same time. There's going to be a little traffic out there. It may hamper their efforts there. But I think the pace is there to see it happen if everything goes right.
Yeah, Cost Mindset and Red Devil, two people that are definitely in contention for pole here tonight. They have both started their final out laps. There's about 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in qualifying here at Texas. And I do think that Mindset definitely has a chance to put himself on the podium here in qualifying tonight if he can put on a good lap time. He's won the past 3 races, so he's definitely somebody to look out for. And Jan, he's definitely up there too. Cura Ramon, he's a bit of a surprise, but he's a bit of a surprise, but I'm not surprised, if that makes sense, that Cura Ramon is up there on pole so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's shown, he's been pretty strong. I mean, he's what I think he's sitting in 4th place in the driver standings. He's got pace, he's got racecraft. He's a pretty strong contender here. I understand exactly what you mean. Like maybe not surprised is the word, but it's a little refreshing to see him holding that pole position at the moment.
That's a perfect word, because he's always up there, but he's never all the way on the top, and he's finally up there. So it's great to see him. It's refreshing to see him up there. But QRL Ramon and Jan have both gone ahead and retired from the session, so they're done with their qualifying laps. And it's down to the final 18 of them to take and go ahead and steal pole from them.
Well, yeah, and actually we have Pucks. He retired as well. I don't know if he wrecked his car. I missed that. But so, yeah, there's 17 left in the session. And a 132.1 is the time to beat at the moment. Maybe not impossible, but it is probably going to be a little bit of a tall order, especially with the traffic all coming out together.
Yeah, and Cost Mindset, he is starting his lap here, and he's going to be on for a pretty fast lap, I'd guess, because the track is definitely starting to heat up. But one person who you also need to look out for is G-Boon. He's currently our championship leader. He's just started his out lap and is about to start his final qualifying lap of the evening, and we're gonna go ahead and go on board with the G-Boon. This turn right here, very good overtaking possibilities going into this turn. Definitely one that you're gonna be wanting to watch out for on the stream tonight for the race, because I mean, once you get, it's hard to overtake through the S's, but if you can overtake before going into the S's, it's gonna give you good looks going all the way through sector 2. And the next overtaking spot really isn't until you get into the hard braking zone before that long straight. So you can see here, we're coming up on that braking zone. It's this one right here. People can dive down the inside of you, and if you're not careful and you're not protecting that corner, it's very easy to overtake there, especially because it leads into a DRS zone. So G-Boon, he's looking pretty good through sector 2. And we should see some more people coming across the line here soon. Red Devil, he is almost a 10th down on his time, and he's coming around the final corner. Is that going to be enough to put him into first? It is. He's going to go pole, provisional pole for Red Devil with a 132.094. If someone can put themselves into the 131s, it's almost a guaranteed pole. But right now, Red Devil is on pole as provisional. So, Vamu Nubel, he is not going to be able to put on a better lap. His qualifying session is over. Major Castleman, he's 2/10 down on his time. That could be enough to put him in 3rd position. We'll see. And he's going to be in 5th. BK, he is also on a pretty fast lap. He's not going to be able to beat his previous time, though, and that's going to be it for BK. He's going to stay in 6th. 7, Just Jose. He's also going to stay where he is. And the qualifying session is definitely starting to come towards an end. Sean Boy, he wasn't able to put in a good lap time, only a 133, and Jay Supreme with a 135. So not sure what happened to them in qualifying, but I mean, at least they put a time down.
Yeah, they did get out there. They gave it a shot. So that's more than some can say some days. But yeah, going back to Major Castleman, he's on a heater right now. He's he's down on his time, and well, I say that, and it looks like he may be.
I think he's done. Yep.
Yeah,
And
he is done.
That is the end of qualifying. So we're going to go ahead, and once we get through this screen, we're going to go ahead and review our finishers for qualifying. So it's going to be Red Devil in first for Williams. Great qualifying session for him. He's got to get pole with a 132.094. Great lap from him. QRL Ramon in second. Jan in third. Vamu Nubel in fourth. Then it's going to be Major Castleman, BK, Just Jose, G Boone, Avira, and Cost Mindset is going to finish out the top 10. Then we have no pucks given in 11th. Then it's going to be B Shoals, the Johnny Damon, Potty, Fluffy, Cars Ben, Kryptonic Swing, Techie Corgi, Sean Boy, and Jay Supreme is going to finish out the order for tonight's race. So we should be on for a good one.
Yeah, and this track, there's so much that can go wrong here between track limit penalties, just the chance, some of these like harder corners, guys getting bunched up, chances to make contact, and just how competitive this tier is overall. I think we definitely have the chance for some mayhem tonight. It's going to be a lot of close racing, I believe. I'm excited to see what they're going to bring for us tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen down into turn one. It's going to be chaos going down into turn one, and it should be pretty chaotic the whole first lap, as it's always been. So that's going to be exciting to see. But another thing that I'm trying to think about is what the strategy is going to be for tonight's race. So I'd assume they're going to start probably on the mediums and then switch over to the hards. It's probably going to be a one-stopper. The two-stop could be possible, but I would doubt to see anyone on the C4 tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to look like for the race. I know that AM3 had some rain, so that's a possibility as well, and that could throw a wrench in the tire strategy. But if it stays dry like it did for qualifying, yeah, I would think medium hards would be order of the day, like it has been at most tracks this season.
But you never know. There's always that possibility of a safety car. Safety cars have been very prevalent throughout this season, and they're always here to mix things up. So if we do have a safety car, it could happen on this first lap. It's a very, very high likelihood that happens. But if we do have that, we could see some people switching over to the softs here pretty early and finishing out their stints. And then we could see some people finishing out the race on the soft as well. So never a tire compound to count out, but always got to make sure that your starting strategy is one that is going to have a lot of degradation, one that using the soft would. But the drivers, they're on the grid, 4 lights, 5 lights, and away we go. Red Devil gets away well, but so does QRL Ramon. QRL Ramon is going to be looking to try and get ahead of Red Devil. He's not going to be able to. Red Devil oh, there's going to be contact. It looks like Jan made contact with the Williams in front, and now Jan is fighting for the lead. Jan is in the lead coming out of turn 1, and now they're going into the S's. There's a lot of jumbled up cars there, but it looks like they're going to stay clean throughout that first complex of corners, and Jan is really starting to get away with this one. He's in a Alpha Tauri sandwich, and QRL Ramon is out of this race. He made contact, and there might be a safety car here. He's definitely out of this race, but Cost Mindset is going to have a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Avira. So what drama we've already had on the first lap.
Yeah, that's absolutely wild. Just I told you. Hey, there's a chance for chaos and calamity, and boy, if we had it already. We're not even halfway through the first lap.
Yeah, and the Ferraris, they're looking pretty strong here, 4th and 5th, and the predicted tire strategy is going to be lap 11 through 12. So a lot of people did start on the mediums, but it looks like Major Castleman is going to be on the soft. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the tires here for you. So we do have 3 soft runners, a lot more hards than we were expecting, but also a lot of mediums. Your 3 front runners are all going to be on the hard, so they should be pretty similar in tire strategy here. But I mean, you never know what's going to happen, and with only one person down in the first lap, I'd expect the strategies to stay pretty on par for the rest of this race.
Yeah, and you know though that safety car, that virtual safety car there. I mean, we're coming into lap 2 now. The field is still pretty tight, and we got a little group breaking away here. You know, the first
7,
the first 6, yeah, the
first 6
or 7. I mean, they're starting to break away already, but I mean, right behind them, I mean, the field's still pretty tight. Certainly a chance for more calamity to happen now.
Yeah, especially once you get down to where the McLarens are. No pucks given. He's definitely in a rough spot. He definitely has the pace to be with that top group, but looks like he got sandwiched off the start, and now he's just going to be fighting for position for the rest of this race. So we should see him start to bump up. The McLarens, they have been looking pretty good too. They've had a lot of driver changes this season, but it's been working out for them, and they now find themselves both in the points. But we have some action up at the front. Major Castleman has thrown himself into 3rd place. Red Devil started on pole, and he's already found himself down in 4th. Right now, it is currently in AlphaTauri 1-2. Jan in 1st, and Vamu Nubel 7/10 away from Jan. And I mean, we could see Jan start pulling away and get out of DRS range from his teammate, or do we see him try and keep Vamu Nubel in that DRS range, and they just carry themselves to a 1-2 victory here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, this is the perfect opportunity now. They got the 1-2 going. Great time to work together, try to fend off those Ferrari. You know, the Ferrari boys, they're going to be working together, trying to get ahead. So you know, Vamu, go a little defensive maybe. Stay within that. Just be able to stay within Jan's DRS, and you know, kind of get drug along, but fend off Castleman and G-Boon. You know, it could be a good day for AlphaTauri, but we're 3 laps into a 28-lap race, so certainly a lot can happen by the time they cross the finish line for the last time.
Definitely. But now it is a AlphaTauri versus Ferrari battle, and Mercedes, they're right in the cut. They just need to gain a little bit more time on Red Devil, get past Red Devil, and then we'd have a pretty symmetrical grid order for the rest of this race. But Red Devil, he was overtaken by G-Boon and is now in 5th place. So I don't know if it's his tires or what it is. Maybe he got a little bit of damage there and his car is starting to lack pace. But there goes Major Castleman. He's going to get a double overtake and put himself into 1st place in that Ferrari. What an overtake from Major Castleman.
Yeah, he's really putting those soft tires to use here early, as he should be, you know, while he's got the advantage. Now it's just hanging on to it, and you know, they're going to degrade faster than, you know, the AlphaTauri's behind him both on the hards, his teammates on the mediums. So it's going to be up to him to kind of hold that position and keep those AlphaTauri's from getting it back. But he's going to have his work cut out for him as this race goes on and this stint comes towards the later stages.
Yeah, and we could start to see some people thinking about the possibility of boxing opposite. Like, if I was G-Boon, I'd probably be boxing opposite of Jan here to try and overtake him in the pits. Try and get him with the undercut or maybe even the overcut. It's definitely possible, but we'll see if that situation is going to unfold how we think it will coming up. We are only on lap 4 of 28, so still 24 laps to go. And Cost Mindset, the only one with a penalty. He had a severe collision with Avira, so Cost Mindset might not be on for a 4th, but he did have a pretty good run of 3 in a row.
Yeah, and you know, they're going to have to pit at some point. He'll have that 5 second. It'll be you know, he'll be able to serve that 5 second in the pits when he does his when he comes in to change tires. So you know, the possibility's still there. He's still in a okay place now. He's definitely at a bit of a disadvantage, but his race isn't over just yet. So I'm excited to see how he does for the rest of the race. He's put on a pretty good show so far. Or you know, he's as he likes to post after his wins. He's put on a few mindset master classes. So we've got 24 more laps to see if this turns out to be another one or not.
Yeah, and G-Boon setting one of the fastest sectors of the track so far. He's gone ahead and gone past Jan, so the Ferraris are looking pretty quick here. If G-Boon can get past Valmo Nubel, then the AlphaTauri are going to have a lot of work to put in to put themselves back in a winning position. But Just Jose has also gotten past Red Devil, and now he is in 5th place. Red Devil down into 6th. Cost Mindset starting to creep up there. He does have a 4-second gap away from Red Devil, so he's definitely going to have some work to do to catch up to the pack. But you know, he's never let the bad things that have happened to him get to him. So we'll see if Cost Mindset can still execute a good race.
That's right. And you know, just take a second here as we're running around. I just want to point out we have a new Cost Bets prediction is up for the race. You can take this time. You can spend some channel points to predict the winner of this race. We already have one of the options. He's been knocked out already, but you know, you can go in there and get your predictions in. I think it'll be live for probably another 10 minutes or so. Go ahead and get those predictions in and win some channel points, and let us know how you think this race is going to turn out.
You should definitely vote for QRL Ramon.
Yeah, that's a winner for sure. You know, unfortunately for him though, that's heartbreaking to lose.
That right there, that's a parlay ender right there. That's,
oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they built glass towers in the desert.
Oh, but Avira also has a time penalty. How did Avira end up with a time penalty?
Let's see here. That's new because that had just popped up. So Avira, he looks like multiple track limits warning. So that's a 3-second penalty for him for track limits. You know, we said so we're 6 laps in now, and we've got our first track limits violation. And I'm sure that's not going to be the last. This is a very easy track to have those happen.
Especially through Sector 1 and Sector 2. It is very, very easy to get track limits violations because you're trying to cut corners, you're trying to gain time where other people may not be as willing, but if you're not careful, it can easily come back to bite you. So we'll see if we get any more track limits violations, and as you said earlier, I'd be very willing to bet that is something that's going to happen. But Major Castleman has been overtaken by Valmu Nubel. So our 1 through 4 positionings, they have been changing quite frequently here, and I'd expect they're going to keep changing over the course of this entire race. So the Ferrari guys, the guys in red, they're still coming after him. And G-Boon tried to get the overtake done on Valmu Nubel, wasn't able to. Valmu Nubel cut the door and shut it. But he is ahead of Major Castleman now. So I think Major Castleman's soft tires are starting to slip away from him. I think they're starting to get a little bit slick, and he might be starting to lose grip early. He did push those soft tires pretty hard. So hopefully they have a couple laps left in them, but I'd expect that they're definitely starting to degrade by now.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're dead yet, but I would say they're starting to lose their speed. And you know, we had the little tire graphic came up at the beginning of the race, and I think what we said between like lap 10 and 12.
I think it was 12 and 13.
Okay, yeah, so we're a little past halfway there, and he's on the soft. So, and it looks like Vamu, he's ghosted right now. Maybe possibly some internet issues, but that's going to allow Jibu to just drive through him and take that lead away.
Yeah,
but
so,
he's back in his car now. He's not ghosted anymore. So.
It looks like he's back. Well, that sucks for him because he ghosted, and he comes back to see that he is no longer in the lead. G-Boon has gotten past him, and Major Castleman's right up his rear diffuser, trying to get past him as well. I mean, Valmu Nubel, he's got the experience of fighting for the lead up front, so he definitely knows what to do in these situations. Will he decide to push his tires to the limit, though? He is only in his first stint. He's going to go down the inside of G-Boon and take back the lead of this race. So I think that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to push his tires all the way to the end of this race, and he's going to leave nothing out there. So he might have ghosted, but he's back, and he's still fighting for this win.
Yeah, you know, you had said something about that during qualifying. You know, that's one of those corners where if you're not careful and you don't, you know, if you leave that space open on the inside, somebody's going to slide in on the inside and make a pass. And Vamu showed just exactly what you were talking about right there. I couldn't have illustrated it any better.
Yep, and we got a little bit of a scrap here between the Haas and the Aston Martin of the Johnny Damon. They were going back and forth there for a little bit, but it looks like the Johnny Damon might be able to stick himself out front for the time being. He's got his teammate ahead of him. So they're fighting for 13th position right now, and I mean they're still in it. So I think Bischols is definitely gonna have a run at the Johnny Damon again, but he does have to rebuild that attack back up. So we should see that here pretty shortly. The Johnny Damon looked like he might have tried to get past his teammate Fluffy, but wasn't able to do so successfully. There's also an Alfa Romeo in the mix of this battle as well. He went a little bit wide there, lost his chance at that overtake, but I'm sure Carlos Benham will be back in the mix here pretty shortly. And we're just waiting for this DRS zone. Once this DRS zone comes into play, I'm sure... Oh, that was pretty loose there from the Haas of Bischols. Definitely lost time out. He was right behind him, and I think he got the dirty air and lost traction. Rear end slipped from him, and he lost his chances of being able to get that overtake done. So glad we were able to see that view, but G-Boon is now in the lead of this race. So it is a Ferrari 1-3 and a Valmu Newell sandwich right in the middle at second place. So Just Jose, he's also coming in the mix, and we should see Just Jose start to creep up there in the top 3 here pretty soon.
Yeah, and you know, at first the one through 4, they're pretty tight. Well, 1 through 6 really, it's all under a second gap. Avira, he got past Mindset earlier. That gap's back to 6 seconds now, from 7th to 6th. So you know, looks like him and Mindset may be battling it out a little bit. But I don't think they're pushing it too hard. Each other, they both have the penalties. I think they're just trying to catch up at this point. So that's kind of, you know, six and up. They're kind of running away with it at this moment, and it's pretty tight up front, pretty tight in the middle. But you know, they're all staying. Got a couple clicks going, but it's still staying pretty tight across the field.
Yeah, exactly. And we did have our first pit stop of the evening. It was the McLaren of Potty. He went in for the white stripe tires, the C2. And I'm not sure what he was on before. I think he was on the mediums, but that's a pretty early pit stop. I'm not sure if he had damage, but he's back out there on the track now. Not sure what strategy he's playing for there, but he definitely needed to go in. So he went ahead and took care of the tire situation, maybe fix some damage there, but we still have a lot of drivers still fighting for 6th place. Red Devil, he's not out yet. I think he does have a little bit of front wing damage, or maybe some floor damage on his side pods, but he's down in 6th place, still fighting, but not out yet.
Yeah, I'm looking at the race director right now. It looks like Potty went from the softs to the hards, so that probably explains that earlier. That kind of early pit stop. So lap 9, he's come in, or lap 8, he's come in, swapped out the softs, went to the hards. He's going to be looking to finish the race on those hards, I believe.
Yeah, so I'd expect to see Major Castleman coming into the pits here pretty soon. That's one good thing that Ferrari has going for them, is they don't have to worry about double stacking into the pits. G-Bin should be able to go a little bit longer than Major Castleman, but Major Castleman's definitely going to have to come in soon, and he's definitely going to lose a lot of track position, but we'll see how that pans out for him. And if I had to guess, I'd assume he's going to go ahead and switch to the hard tires after he pits, but we are on board with the fight between Avira and No Pucks Given. They're scrapping it out through the S's, and we'll see if No Pucks Given can go ahead and pass that McLaren into the DRS zone of this next straight coming up.
Yeah, well, Pucks, the tire differential there, Pucks, he's on those mediums. They're 9 laps old. Avira, he's on the 9-lap-old softs. You know, we were saying, you know, Potty, he's already come in, swapped his softs out. Major Castleman, he's going to be looking to swap his softs. Avira, he's the second one left with the softs. So, you know, there he goes. Pucks, he's going to get around him there on those mediums. They're probably in a little bit better shape at this point. So, I think, yeah, the softs are starting to lose their magic a little bit. But, you know, you look up towards the front, Major Castleman, he's still hanging in there. He's less than half a second from his teammate. So they may not be done just yet, but they're starting to become a disadvantage, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Major Castleman still has the pace of people with mediums and hards in front of him. I mean, I guess he's been doing a pretty good job at tire management, but I would expect to see Avira throw himself into the pits probably at the end of this lap. So, I mean, if you win any longer, I'd assume you just keep losing places. It'd probably drop down below Fluffy by the end of this next lap. Or not Fluffy. Fluffy does have a 4-second gap there, but Avira's going to go ahead and stay out. So it must not be that bad for him to go ahead and throw himself into the pits, but it's definitely something that we're going to be looking at here pretty shortly.
Yeah, that's right. And you see there, you know, Avira, he was ahead of Mindset, and he's dropped down 2 spots. You know, Mindset got by him, Pucks has got by him, and now that gap that we were looking at earlier, Mindset had that like 5.5-second gap to Red Devil. That's up to 7.5 now. I think after fighting with Avira and staying behind him, you know, that's really kind of held him back from catching up this lead pack. So he's definitely got his work cut out for him as well, and he's got that 5-second penalty on top of it.
Yep, but that's never stopped Cost Mindset before, so we should see him hopefully start chopping that gap down here pretty soon, probably in the second stint of this race. But no pucks given is going to go ahead and fly right by him. The Williams starting to have a little bit of a second breath here of this first stint, and they're starting to claw their way back. No pucks given, definitely starting to claw his way back. Red Devil, he hasn't gained a position yet in this race. He could only lose positions as he did start on pole. So Red Devil, we should see him start to hopefully use the tire advantage that you'd think he's been saving. So we'll see if he's going to start deploying his battery, start using the rest of his tires, and try and get in front of Jan if he can. But there goes Avira into the pits. We finally have a guy on the softs throw himself into the pits. So I'd assume Major Kausman will come in soon.
Yeah, and you know, yeah, I mean, he's just been, Kausman's kind of been chilling up there. You know, I think past that, you know, he pushed a little bit there at the beginning when he definitely had a tire advantage. I think now, yeah, he's just kind of content to ride it out and see what happens, and maybe try and hold out and do like a soft to medium strat here, and try to gain another tire advantage as a lot of these guys started on the hards and are going to be having to go to mediums or softs.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that this track hasn't spread out as much as you'd think it would. The top 6, they're all still very close. They're all still in it, and it's anyone's race in the top 6. But I mean, after that, we really have 3 separate packs here. So it's the top 6. Then it's 7 through it looks like 10, maybe 12. And the rest of it, they're all in their own little league down there. So everyone's still fighting for position. It's still a close race here at the United States Grand Prix, and we are now on lap 12. So we're almost there. We're almost halfway. And I mean, this track and this race is just going to keep on developing.
Yeah, and you know, and like we said, you've got these kind of like packs, kind of like tight racing and separate packs. You know, Scott's coming, Major Castleman, there he goes into the pit to get off those softs now at lap 13. So he's gone almost half distance on softs. I think he's going to probably swap to the mediums here. But like, you've got these packs as guys come in and out of the pits. Yeah, he's going onto the mediums. You know, that's going to kind of mix these packs up a little bit and kind of bring them together some. You know, it'll kind of mix them up, kind of change the order up a little bit. So, you know, it's not, you know, even if you find yourself kind of out of with a pretty sizable gap, you know, it's not over just yet.
Yep, and we just saw that Cost Mindset served his penalty, so he's definitely going to be having to do some catch-up, but he got his penalty served, and all he has to do is keep it clean for the rest of this race, and he could get himself back into the points. It's definitely possible, but if you did bet on Cost Mindset, might be a long stretch bet, so hopefully you can get your channel points back, but Red Devil, he also went into the pits, and he is now on the hards. Did Major Castleman go on the hards?
He went to the mediums.
Major Castleman went to the mediums, so that's a bit of a stretch. Hopefully those mediums can get him all the way through lap 28. I mean, he definitely does have the preservation skills to keep those tires all the way to the end of this race. I mean, you saw how well those softs were still going. on lap 10. So he definitely has the skill to keep those tires within reason. But if he wants to put himself into the top 5 at least, he's going to have to do a lot of pushing, which could hurt his tires in the end. So hopefully he makes it all the way to the end on this tire compound.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the play. If he can get almost halfway, the car gets lighter. The longer you drive it, the lighter it gets. And he made it almost halfway with the heavy car on the softs. There's no reason he can't get 15 laps out of those mediums now.
Yep. And so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put on the pit stops. So our top 4 are still yet to pit. Fluffy has not pit as well. Then it's going to be 8 through 10 who haven't pit. And there's only 2 other people, Jay Supreme and Sean Boy, who have not yet pit. So about half the field has gone into box, and the other half is still out there fighting for track position. So we should see most of the people who have already pit start taking up that top 10.
Yeah, that's right. And, we're seeing now, like, there was a lot of guys starting on the hards to start this race off. Looking at the tire graphic now, a lot of hards on the track with the guys that haven't pit yet. So I think we're gonna see some more softs come out here as this race goes on. But man, it's just like there's a lot of differential potential here because of the tire differentials. Vamu, he's cooking away now. He's got a 1.5. He's put Just Jose out of the DRS camp. Oh, and Potty, he's spun.
Yep, we saw that happen. Potty went for the overtake on his teammate and made contact on the right front tire, and it did spin him around a little bit. So he is going to have a 3-second time penalty. Both McLarens with time penalties. Avira with a 5-second, I believe. But Major Castleman has now put himself into second place as a lot of that top 4 go into the pits.
Yeah, and not only did he put himself in, move himself up into second, but he set a fastest lap when he did it too. So he's on a tear now. He's got fresh tires. He's ready to rock and roll.
Exactly, and I think Jan definitely has a chance for the win here. But I mean, Major Castleman's just been on a tear all race, so it's definitely possible to see him up there. Anyway, all the people in the top 5, they definitely have a chance, even top 6. For a podium tonight.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right. But we're seeing, and it's funny. Speaking of, like, we were talking earlier, or speaking earlier about it during qualifying. The potential for time penalties, and like the way some of these corners are set up in sections that we'll see some contact, we'll see some time penalties, and not to jinx it, but like we have not seen that at all, really. We had one car crash out on the very first lap, and a virtual safety car, and we've had one case of 2 cases of track limits penalties, and 1 case of a penalty for contact. It's been a pretty clean race through 16 laps, which it maybe not surprising for these guys, but because of the skill, but it's interesting to see compared to the rest of the races that have gone on this week.
Not the commentator curse.
Yeah.
So now I'd expect to see contact within the next 3 laps.
We're
but
gonna
yeah,
have to pull up that Stephen A. Smith clip. We've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, run amok.
Oh no!
I might have just ruined it for us.
Yeah. Well, to your point, it has been very clean racing. We've had 2 very minor incidents with contact, and then we've had 1 major one where a car sadly had to end the race on the first lap. But other than that, it has been very clean. And to your point, it's been a very, very clean, very solid race. But No Pucks Given is trying to get by Techie Corky. His teammate was the one who DNF'd in this race, and No Pucks Given is going to get by Techie Corky. They were fighting for 8th position, and No Pucks Given got the win there. So we could see Techie Corky maybe fight back after this DRS zone, but I mean, it's a bit of a long shot there, especially from A10's back. So it isn't going to be enough as we look at the onboard there. And No Pucks Given is going to start trying to get past Avira and catch back up to his teammate Red Devil, who's in 6th, who has been there to his point. He's been there for almost the entire race. So Red Devil, hopefully, is going to start using his battery and getting himself into the top 5 here pretty soon.
Yeah, he, you know, looking at it now, he's got the battery. He's got 78% battery as it sits now. So he's not really burned much. He's managing the ERS pretty well. You know, maybe looking for a big push here later in the race. You know, he's setting himself up to go to work here in the closing stages of the race, which we're just past halfway now. He's got time to naturally gain some time here on the people ahead of him, and then he can use that battery to his advantage later on.
Yeah, and one thing that happened as a result of that, of those first round pit stops, is that now the field is very spread out. The entire field is going through the S's section right now, all the way through the first DRS zone. So lots of people are separated, and Cost Mindset with another penalty. That's going to be a 3-second time penalty for track limits, I believe. But back to what I was saying. Sorry. Another 3-second time penalty for cars bend for track limits violations. So
it was me. I did it to us. I'm sorry.
But yeah, if you look at the intervals, we got 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 1 second, a second, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, a second, 3 seconds. Like the field is starting to get very spread out here, and Jan, he is definitely the victor to come out of that interval, and Kryptonic Swing with a 3-second time penalty. Man, lots of people are starting to get track limits violations, but Jan is going to go ahead and go into the pits. He was on the hards, and it looks like he's going to maybe switch to the softs, possibly the mediums. I guess we'll find out here pretty soon. It looks like his pit crew has the yellow stripe tire, so they're going to go ahead and put on the mediums here, and Jan's going to have some work to do.
Yeah, and that'll put him down into 6th place. You know, he's 1st to 6th, and well, and he's going to lose again out. He's going to lose out to Avira, who's going to move up there, and that's going to put him right in between that fight No Pucks was trying to bring on with Avira there. So, not the best for Pucks, you know, but Jan, he's got fresh tires. He's ready to go to battle again, and I think he's going to look to bring that fight to Avira here pretty quickly.
Yeah, and Avira does have that penalty, and I believe it's 5 seconds. So Jan really shouldn't be fighting this, other than the fact that he needs to catch up to the top 5 there. But I mean, there's such big time differences between everybody up there that I don't know if he's going to be able to chop his way back through all of that top 5 in this race.
Yeah, Avira, he's got a 3-second right now, and looks like Jan's he's going to make that DRS pass on him. And it looks
well, there
like
you go.
Pucks is coming. He's coming too. He's not gonna be able to make it in this DRS section, but he's caught up a lot of the gap there. But yeah, so Avira, he's got that 3-second penalty, and yeah, now Jan, he's ahead of him, and he's still got a 5.5-second gap to Red Devil in 5th. It's he's got his work cut out for sure. The new tires are gonna help, but it's not gonna be a cakewalk either.
Yeah, and we have a huge battle between 12th, 13th, and 14th. I think 11th as well. A lot of drivers stuck right there behind Cost Mindset, and we could see some overtakes, maybe even some wreckage here, because there's been a lot of back and forth, and a lot of drivers are all close together, especially going down into this DRS zone. We could definitely see a pass going into turn 1. It's the two Hasses up against Fluffy in the Aston Martin. Will the Hasses pass each other? No, but it looks like McLaren is going to go ahead and try and get past Cost Mindset, but Cost Mindset is going to go ahead and get past Potty, and they're still fighting for position, but Sean Poi, he's going to get a 3-second time penalty as well. So the track limits violations, they are definitely starting to pile up here on lap 19, and there's another one. Fluffy with a 3-second time penalty, and they keep piling on. We're down to less than 10 laps here in this race, and almost half the grid has a time penalty of some sort.
Yeah, well, I'm watching now with that pack there. Potty, he's gone out wide again. He just got, I think he's already got a penalty, so that's probably going to be another warning, at least one. But yeah, now that maybe these guys are pushing a little harder, and and they're just going wide. Or maybe they're trying to get a little desperate, trying to make a pass and pushing it just a little too much on those limits. But we're getting now. It's like everybody's getting dinged for it. Those warnings are starting to stack up and turn into penalties.
Yeah, wow. We saw into that corner out of the DRS zone. We saw them go 3 wide into that corner, and we saw some contact from that McLaren there, a potty. And I mean, it looks like that Alfa Romeo is going to steam by him with the extra grip. Great overtake from Cars Ben on potty, but B Scholes with another 3-second time penalty. So potty is going to go ahead and throw himself into the pits. Not sure why he's pitting. Actually, he was the first one to pit, wasn't he? So
yeah,
I think these hard tires.
11 lap old hards.
Yeah, I think he went for the 2-stop, which is an interesting strategy. But he's going to go ahead and go for the mediums for 8 laps left in this race.
Yeah, that's going to hurt him. You know, he was doing all right. He was in the points there for a lot of this race, and now he's dropping down. He's come out of the pits. He's going to come out 16. He didn't lose many positions there in that pit stop due to the gaps across the track, but now he's 9 seconds back from Teki Korgi, who's 9 seconds back from Cars Ben. So he's got his work cut out for him. He's got a 3-second penalty. At this point, 8 laps left. He may be a write-off for some points today.
Yeah, but some updates on our leaders up front. Vamu Nubel is right behind Major Castleman. They're scrapping it out for the lead. They're almost down to 7 laps left, and Vamu Nubel is only 2/10 behind of Major Castleman. G-Boon, he's on the podium, but not really in the cut of these top 2 at the front. So Vamu Nubel is going to be looking to might make the overtake down into turn 1. He's gonna get past Major Castleman. Major Castleman, though, is gonna have the exit speed. He's gonna have the inside of that corner as well, and Major Castleman is gonna keep it. That was really close there between Vamu Nubel and Major Castleman. Vamu Nubel had the overtake done, but didn't cut off Major Castleman, and Major Castleman was able to keep that inside line and go ahead and pass back Vamu Nubel, but Vamu Nubel is still right up the back of Major Castleman, and especially going down to this turn, he might be able to get some distance in this braking zone, and especially into this DRS zone. He's only 3/10 back, so he still has a great chance of making this overtake work. So we're going to go ahead and go on board. He has the DRS, and he's going to go ahead and fly by Major Castleman, and there's nothing Major Castleman can do. He doesn't have the DRS to defend back from Vamu Nubel, and Vamu Nubel looked a little bit squirrely there coming out of that corner, but Major Castleman is still right up in here, and G-Boon is definitely going to start gaining some time on these top 2 if they keep battling it out like this.
Yeah, you can see now. I mean, Boone, he's got it under 3 seconds now, so he's gained at least half a second on him through that battling. But it was great to see there. Like that was great defending for Major Castleman through that first sector. Like, Vamu, he cut to the inside pretty hard. Like looked like he had it done, but going inside like that kind of hurt his exit speed. And Major Castleman had just enough room there to stay on track and really hammer down coming out of turn 1. So now here they go again through turn 1, and we may see Major Castleman do the same thing that Vamu did to him. So they may be just kind of swapping back and forth here for the next couple of laps till they kind of get it figured out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I think it's going to be back and forth all the way to the end of this race, unless one of them, the pressure gets to him and something happens. But, I mean, Vamu Nubel, we know he has this experience. Major Castleman, he is pretty new. This is only his first couple of races. It's his first batch of experience. But, I mean, he's always been in the front, and he definitely knows what he's doing up there, and he's very self-assured. You can see it in his driving. He's not scared to make the overtakes where they matter, and he's there when it counts. So he definitely has the confidence to go in there and take the win today. And that'd be great for the Ferrari Constructors Championship standings. But there goes Major Castleman on Vamu Nubel. He got the DRS, and Vamu Nubel might make a little bit of contact there on the back of Major Castleman, and it looks like it's going to be back and forth for the rest of this race. And G-Boon, he still has it under 3 seconds, but we could see him starting to approach that 2-second mark if they keep battling. Vamanubel right up the side. They're going wheel to wheel all through this third sector here. And Vamanubel still trying to get past Major Castleman. Vamanubel might be setting up an overtake down into turn 1, and he might use this DRS zone to his favor here. He has the DRS and he has the speed. Vamanubel is attacking Major Castleman from the front. He's going to go down the inside, and there is nothing Major Castleman can do in that Ferrari. And there goes Vamanubel.
Well, and it's interesting, you say there's nothing he can do, but I think he's kind of letting it happen as well, just for the fact Vamu's really been burning battery to make these overtakes and kind of defend. Major Castleman, Vamu's got about a 15 to 20% battery. Major Castleman's sitting at over 40% right now. So I think he's maybe not defending quite as hard as he could, knowing that this is just going to kind of keep happening throughout the rest of this race. I think maybe he's kind of conserving his energy now to really be able to defend there in the closing laps.
Yep, and we just saw a wreck from Cost Mindset. He had a 3-second time penalty. We saw contact. Wasn't ready for the spin there, but Cost Mindset, he went ahead and spun. He made contact with a car up front, and it looks
he was around as well.
Yeah, I think it was Cars Ben. So bit of contact there. Glad we were able to capture that for the viewers, but Potty with another time penalty. Red Devil still in 6th. I'm surprised he's been able to keep his track position so steady, but to your point, what you were saying, Major Castleman definitely does have the advantage. He has the battery advantage on Vamanubel, and once you start getting into the final couple of laps here, that difference really starts to become apparent, because you can really start to pull away, and especially when someone overtakes you in a DRS zone, you can overtake them right back, and you put them right back down where they were before. So the ERS in the battery is definitely going to be an advantage for Major Castleman coming into the final 4 laps of this race.
Yeah, that's right. But and looking at it too, balancing it out though, Major Castleman and Vamu, they're both on the mediums, but Major Castleman's tires are 2 laps older, so he's got a little bit of a battery advantage, and it looks like Vamu's kind of not burning as much now. He's only 10% less than Major Castleman at this point. Oh, and Cost Mindset has retired in the pits, but so Major Castleman, he's got a little bit of a battery advantage, but it's kind of offset by his tires as well. So maybe that too. He doesn't want to push him too hard now and waste his tire life, before he really needs to.
Exactly, and Vamanubel was actually able to defend from Major Castleman going out of that first DRS zone, and he's still in the lead, and Major Castleman looks like he's kind of getting flustered here. It looks like he's trying to get by him, but just can't seem to get past that Alpha Tauri, and hopefully Major Castleman, to his benefit, can get past him here pretty soon. But Vamanubel, I mean, if he can make it happen on his debut back to full-time racing, that'd be very impressive. And I mean, it really just shows how good of a racer Vamanubel really is.
Yeah, he's hung in there all evening. He's been right up there at the front. He hasn't lost out. And as it sits, like right now, he's in first place. He's up 3 spots. Whether he manages to hold off Major Castleman for the rest of the race or not, he's still gained position. Barring something terrible happening. He's still come out ahead of where he started. So he's definitely put on a strong race in his return to full-time racing.
Yep, and we are down to 3 laps left. So it's all in. All chips on the board for the race win here tonight. Major Castleman, he has a pretty good look here, but you can definitely see that Vamanubel is deploying that battery, trying to get rid of that difference there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And we could see Major Castleman go ahead and fly by him, and there Major Castleman goes. So now all he has to do is keep ahead of Vamanubel for 2.5 more laps, and he's going to get the race victory. So and Red Devil has a 3-second time penalty. We also saw some contact there, and Vamanubel lost a little bit of time there from that bump. So He's down to a 7/10. No, sorry, he's got it back down to sorry, the interval is going crazy. I'm having trouble tracking this this interval, but Vamu he had a little bit of contact there with Major Castleman in the back. It was on his rear diffuser, and he's now down to a time of about a second. So that could be it for the fight. He's still in DRS range. He's going to gain a little bit of time there, but he's not going to have the slipstream benefit through the rest of these S's. But
look who's coming to the party, though, too. You know, that fighting they've done between each other, and we were saying it earlier, Boone, he's half a second back from Vamu. He's in this fight now, too. So Vamu's got, he's trying to get that he's trying to get that P1, but he's got to hold off Boone from the back as well. Like, it's getting pretty hairy for him.
Exactly. He's stuck in a Ferrari sandwich, and unless he can get past Major Castleman, there's nothing he can do about it. So G-Boone's definitely going to be fighting for it, and I think if Vamu Nubel is too worried about defending from G-Boone behind, then he might not be able to get Major Castleman. But G-Boone got a great exit out of that turn, got wheel to wheel with Vamu Nubel, and he might be going for the overtake down through the rest of this DRS zone. Is it going to be enough, though? Yeah, G-Boone is going to go ahead and get past Vamu Nubel. So he was down about 3 seconds, but he managed to make up that deficit, and now it's just between him and his teammate Major Castleman. There's a 1.3 second deficit. So I mean, he's out of DRS range. He's out of DRS range, but if he can get that back, G-Boone's still on for the win here tonight.
Yeah, but you know, like all that battle in there, G-Boone and Vamu both, man, they have burned a lot of energy trying to hold, fight with each other there. And now look, Jan, he's coming in. It's getting a little more crowded here.
The party is not over.
No, it's getting closer by the day, or by the lap. I mean, Jan, he's coming in. Just Jose, he's not far back. I don't know if he's going to be able to make a 3 second deficit in 2 laps, but he's definitely closed up as well.
If they start battling, he definitely can.
Yeah, that's the thing. Boone, he's in Castleman's DRS. I think he's going to let Castleman drag him around. Vamu, he's out of the DRS now, so it's just him and his teammate Jan there, and they're going to have to figure that one out. But yeah, it's looking pretty good for Ferrari at this point.
And one other thing you also have to consider is that, we just saw Vamu Nubel go wide there, and I think he's going to lose out to his teammate Jan. Jan is now on for a podium, so Jan's still in this race, and can never count him out. But one other thing is that the whole top 5 has no time penalty, so if something happens in this last lap and a half, then that could spell the end for a possible podium finish. So they definitely have to keep it clean, but they also have to stay fast and stay in front of the other car. So anything can still happen. It is still up for grabs.
Yep, and we see another 3 second time penalty for Sean Boy. Yeah, these we've got 1 lap left here to get those track limits penalties in. We did so well, and it's really gone wild in the last 8 to 10 laps here.
Yep, we are on for the final lap of this race, and do Ferrari call team orders and let G-Boone get past for a higher drivers championship standing? So we could see team orders come into play here, but I think Ferrari's going to let him go. I think Ferrari's going to let him battle it all the way out and see. We'll see if Major Castleman gained his first win of the season.
Yeah, that would be pretty wild. This is his second full-time race, 3rd total. He had his first race, he was a reserve driver. His second race, he moved into that Ferrari to replace Bischels. And so now he's his second race as a full-time driver, and he's already on possibly for a win. Definitely looking like it's going to be a podium finish for him. Pretty hard to argue with that.
Unless G-Boone can get past him here. G-Boone's going to dive down the inside. He has the DRS, and G-Boone is going to get past Major Castleman towards the last sector of this lap. So now G-Boone is on for the win if he can keep it clean. Bischels with another 3 second time penalty, but G-Boone has gotten past Major Castleman, and not sure if that was planned out by Ferrari, but there's only 5/10 between them. So unless G-Boone makes a mistake in this final sector, it looks like he's going to be on for another win. I believe that's his 5th or 6th of the season. Can't remember, but we see the Ferraris coming around the final corner. It's going to be a Ferrari 1-2. G-Boon is going to win in Texas for the United States Grand Prix. Major Castleman on his 3rd race of the season is going to finish 2nd, and Jan is going to finish 3rd to round out the podium with a great fight between his teammate Bamu Nubel, who was also there for almost that entire race. Just Jose is going to get 5th place, and Red Devil is going to get 6th after he started on pole. His teammate No Pucks Given is going to finish 7th, and we're just waiting for the rest of the drivers to go ahead and come in and wait to see how their time penalties pan out. But well, I mean, we'll see that towards the end of this race. But what an ending!
Yeah, that was wild. You know, I didn't I jinxed it a little bit talking about the clean racing and the lack of penalties there at the end. But you know, it stayed pretty clean other than the track limits penalties. You know, there wasn't just a little bit of contact here and there, nothing major. You know, we had one virtual safety car. It's been an incredible race just from that. These guys they really they handled the long run pretty well here.
Yeah, the fact that we didn't have a full-on safety car is quite phenomenal. So definitely in the chat, give some praise to our drivers here tonight. They put on a show for y'all. So and if you haven't already, go ahead and follow us on Twitch. We're doing this every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, so you don't want to miss it. And this is the best tier that you're gonna get in the Americas. So if you want to stick around, watch some more streams, definitely do that. But the driver of the day is going to go ahead and go to Fluffy. So great job on his part and a great race.
That's right. So while we're waiting for our drivers to join in here, take this time to say, if you like what you've seen on track, you want to be a part of it, we'd love to have you join our Discord. The link will be in the Twitch chat here. We've got tiers for American drivers, for European drivers, and we're trying to get Oceanic and PC only tiers started as well. And we'd love to have you come and join us here at Contest of Speed. We've got a great community, and we'd like you to come find your F1 League racing home with us. So be sure to check out that Discord link in the chat, and give us a follow on Twitch while you're at it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, this community has really been growing, and it's not stopping anytime soon, especially with the shows that these guys have been putting on. So it's going to be G-Boon in 1st, Major Castleman in 2nd, Jan in 3rd, Vamo Nubel in 4th, Just Jose in 5th. 6th place is going to go to Red Devil. 7th, No Pucks Given. Fluffy in 8th, the Johnny Damon in 9th, and Avira is going to finish out the top 10. And now to the non-point scoring positions. It's going to be B. Schultz in 11th, Potty in 12th, Kryptonic Swang in 13th, J Supreme in 14th, Sean Boy in 15th, Cars Ben in 16th. He had an unfortunate run-in with Cost Mindset there towards the end of that race. BK in 17th, Techie Corgi in 18th, Cost Mindset. A very unfortunate race for him. He's going to be down in 19th, and Kyoro Ramon is going to finish out our standings for 20th. And don't leave yet. We're going to go ahead and get our drivers in for their interviews. So we're going to have our podium drivers with us very shortly. And we're going to go ahead and switch over to...
I think we've got them, actually.
To the interview panel. All right, so it looks like we have our drivers in here. So if we could get Jan in here. Jan, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Oh, fantastic. You had a pretty eventful race. I mean, you were up there. You were kind of quietly staying behind. We were worried that you weren't going to be able to make up that 3-second time deficit, but you were able to do that and got yourself on the podium. What do you think contributed to you being able to make up that deficit from your teammate in front of you and put yourself on the podium?
To be honest, I felt like my pace was not the greatest. Even in the train, I struggled to stay within the RS. So when I saw everyone boxed reasonably early, I just told myself I was gonna go long, maybe hope for a safety car. In the end, didn't get a safety car. Everyone kept it clean, which is good. But yeah, I think actually my teammate got damaged, which is why he dropped back. I think I would have had P4, which I would have been happy with either way, because like I said, I don't think my pace was great. But yeah, I just stayed long, hoped for the best, and in the end, it paid off.
Yeah, I guess we didn't clock that Valmu had damage. So, what do you know? What kind of damage it was? Was it front wing? Maybe.
I think it was slight front wing damage. Yes, nothing crazy, but like about half a second a lap maybe.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, you still put on a great race. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to your teammate. Y'all both deserve it. So, a great race from you.
Thank you.
Of course. And so we're going to go ahead and get Major Castleman in here. Major, you had a phenomenal race. It sucks to see it get stripped from you on the final lap, but I mean, you were up there the entire time. You started on the softs. What was the thought process behind starting on the softs tonight?
Yeah, so, we had a kind of mediocre qualifying, Jibun and myself, so I think we noticed that the softer strategy was quite quick, and so I figured since I was much higher up the grid, I would try to jump the queue and see if I could hold everybody up to give him a better undercut opportunity. It ended up working out. And then, at the end, it was just about, trying to drive on the absolute limit of defense, put on my best Perez impression, and make sure that Boone could catch up at the end and take the victory. So, it was all planned for him to take the top spot there at the end. We wanted to leave it to the last second to make sure that that nothing strange happened with anyone behind us.
Well,
that's everything went according to plan. It was very good.
Yeah, that's fantastic to hear. So, I mean, y'all put on a master class out there. It was the Ferrari show the entire time. So, great job on the strategy, great job on the execution. All in all, great job, Major Castleman. And this is only your third race, so we have a lot to expect from you, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I hope to be able to do more of that. I know that Jibun is in a tight championship battle, so I think if we're in that situation again, he'll just go ahead again to try to make that points lead as comfortable as possible going into the final round.
Well, awesome. Congratulations on the podium, and let's go ahead and get our race winner in here. G-Boon, you had a phenomenal race all night, and you kept it tight. You kept it eventful. Didn't have any penalties, kept it clean, and did all you needed to do to extend your championship lead. What do you think was the biggest contributing factor to that win tonight?
Man, I think it's exactly what you said, is just keeping it clean and, getting it through the entire race. Because that's the one thing that I wanted to make sure I did right, knowing that I had a bad qualifying. So it was just going to be keeping on track, stay away from penalties, and just see what happens when it comes down to the last few laps. And like Castleman was saying, I mean, some great teamwork. There was a battle between us and the AlphaTauris there at the end, and just flip-flop strategies from both sides of both teams. And I mean, it was a lot of fun. We were mixed in the whole time, and just came down to the end, and I had the better tires at the end, and we knew that was going to be the case. So it was just a matter of fact of when I was going to catch up and then make the switch for the end. So like I said, great teamwork. It was a really fun race.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because you were down about like 3-4 seconds, I believe, with a couple laps left to go, and we didn't think you were going to be able to make up that deficit, and then all of a sudden you were right there in the mix. So you were staying up there, you were kind of quietly creeping up, and then all of a sudden you were there. Major Castleman and Valmanubel were battling it out towards the end, and you took advantage and did what you had to do to get the race win. So congratulations on your victory tonight.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, guys, that's going to be it from me and Electric. Electric, you got anything you want to say?
I think you pretty well covered it. I think just before we cut out of here, take one more opportunity to kind of give us a little self plug here. Like I said, if you enjoyed what you saw on track, want to be a part of it, we'd love to have you join our community here at Contest of Speed. The link to our Discord will be in the Twitch chat. and come in, sign up, check out the Discord, man. We'd love to have you. Great community to be a part of. We've got racing for American, European tiers. Sure, like we said, trying to get Oceanic tier and a PC only tier started as well. Great community to be a part of. Come join us, be a part of it, be a part of this great on track action, and we'd love to have you.
Well said. So that's going to be it from us tonight, and good night.
Good night.